So on Switchblade Sisters, you have this piece where you talk about his cadence and how through his cadence he creates humor, and compared it to your dialogue in Pulp Fiction. So when I met Jack Hill, I said, who do you look to for dialogue? And he names the playwright Strindberg, August Strindberg. So I wanted to ask you, kind of, do you ever look back to the classical writers, and who are the biggest influences on you in terms of dialogue, either writing or hearing it?
I actually think when it comes to my dialogue, I mean, I think the three writers that affected it the most as far as like a genuine influence would probably be a combination of Elmore Leonard, David Mamet, and Richard Pryor. And I think those were actual conscious influences in me finding my voice and my dialogue and character voices and stuff. However, while this other person wasn't an influence, and even to this day I don't really consider him an influence, when I watch some of this material, I do recognize a similar aspect to their dialogue is somebody like Paddy Chayefsky. When I watched Paddy Chayefsky, I was actually surprised that, oh, wow, that's, as I started to discover, once I started writing, other friends of mine kind of pointed out that there was a symmetry to our dialogue to some degree or another. But the funny thing about Paddy Chayefsky was it was almost via Paddy Chayefsky that I actually realized that I actually was a pretty good writer, and maybe want to think about exploring this a little bit. Because how I actually kind of discovered writing dialogue is I used to be an actor, and I'd be in acting classes. And so part of your thing in acting classes is to drum up scenes to do. And I always wanted to do scenes from movies and stuff. And then I didn't have access to any scripts or anything like that. So I would like go and watch a movie, and then I could remember. I had a good memory, so I'd remember the scene. So I'd go home and write the scene down. And whatever I didn't remember, I would just fill in the blanks myself. Well, little by little, I would just start filling in more blanks and just kind of go off and do my own things and add to the scenes. That was my first attempt at writing dialogue with stuff like that. And I had forgotten I was doing a scene from Marty, Paddy Chayefsky's Marty, in class. And I was talking to the guy I did the scene with, and he goes, I mentioned what I just mentioned. He goes, "God, Quentin, you're as good as Paddy Chayefsky." I go, "What are you talking about?" "Well, remember when we did Marty, and all of a sudden there's this monologue about the fountain?" Yeah. "That's not in Marty, that's you." You gave me your handwritten version. I actually have Marty at home. And I go, there's no fountain. There's no monologue about a fountain in this scene. But it fit in perfect with the scene. And I was like, well, it's just as good as the Paddy Chayefsky stuff. And it was him. His name was Ronnie Coleman. And when he said that, it was like the first ding, little tiny dinner bell, like the one around on the side of a table, ding, ding, ding. All right, it was the first little ring that was like, oh, maybe I should pay attention to this. Maybe I should explore this a little bit more.